In the early 1980s, Michael Jackson was at the very top of the world. When his album Thriller came out in 1982, it changed everything. Songs like Billie Jean and Beat It were everywhere, playing on radios, blasting in clubs, and dominating the charts. At just 24, Michael had the whole world watching. He wasn't just another singer. He was already a global superstar, pulling off the moonwalk, creating music videos no one had seen before, and selling records like crazy. But at the same time that his career was skyrocketing, something much quieter was beginning to happen in his personal life. Around this same period, Michael noticed something unusual on his skin. Small, pale spots, faint white patches, started appearing, maybe first on his hands or face. At first, they didn't seem like much, but to Michael, who lived in front of cameras, every detail mattered. He didn't talk about it publicly. Only his family and close friends knew. But those little spots didn't stay little. They started to spread, slowly but surely. His skin was beginning to change in a way he couldn't control. By the mid-1980s, the patches had become impossible to ignore. Michael turned to doctors for answers. That's when he learned he had vitiligo, a condition where the skin loses its pigment in patches. There was no cure, no quick fix. And for someone who always tried to perfect everything, his singing, his dancing, this felt like something slipping away. Around 1987, while promoting his bad album, he was still performing at his peak, but deep inside, he was struggling with this diagnosis. Now, to understand what Michael was going through, you need to know what vitiligo is. Basically, your body's immune system attacks the pigment-producing cells in your skin, called melanocytes. When those cells are gone, the skin loses its color and turns white in patches. For Michael, the condition began in small areas, but spread across his face, hands, and body. Stress could make it worse. And let's be real, his life was nothing but stress at that time. Doctors gave him creams to even out the tones, sometimes to lighten the darker areas, so everything looked consistent. But sunlight made his skin fragile, so he often wore hats, long sleeves, and even carried an umbrella just to protect himself. By the late 1980s, fans and the media couldn't help but notice. Michael's skin was much lighter than before, and the rumors began. People claimed he was bleaching his skin. Others went so far as to say he was ashamed of being black. For Michael, who already had insecurities from childhood, being teased about his nose, his acne, these accusations cut deep. By the early 90s, especially during his dangerous era, the talk was everywhere. He did his best to cover the patches with makeup, blending it carefully so his skin looked even. But the judgment from the outside world never stopped. Vitiligo didn't just change his appearance, it changed his entire way of living. He spent hours preparing for performances, using makeup to hide the condition. He avoided sunlight as much as possible, dressing in ways that sometimes made people whisper. All the gossip and ridicule made him pull back into himself, more private and guarded. Yet, you can feel his feelings about all this in songs like Black or White, where he directly sang about race, unity, and acceptance. It was his way of asking people to look beyond appearances. When Michael passed away in 2009 at just 50 years old, his skin was very pale, not because of any attempt to become white, but because vitiligo had spread across most of his body, and treatments had been used to even out the tone. After his death, doctors confirmed publicly that he had indeed lived with vitiligo, just as he had said for years. In fact, back in 1993, he told Oprah Winfrey in an emotional interview, "I'm proud to be a Black American. I'm proud of who I am." Millions watched that moment, but not everyone believed him then. The sad part is, the full truth was only fully accepted after he was gone. Michael Jackson's story is a reminder. While the world saw his brilliance on stage, behind the curtain, he was fighting a very personal battle with something he couldn't control. And through it all, he kept giving his best to the world, even when the world didn't always give the same back.